Good afternoon, everyone. I am Maria Samantha T. Nanoy, and today I will be discussing to you driving fundamentals, and we will be focusing on driving on the road. Our learning objectives are: at the end of the lesson, students should be able to demonstrate knowledge of traffic regulations and right-of-way rules, apply safe driving techniques for speed, braking and following distance, and execute safe maneuvers for turning, overtaking, and parking. Alamin muna natin yung traffic lights and signals. Traffic lights are designed to regulate the flow of traffic, prevent accidents, and ensure the safety of all road users, using colored lights to instruct drivers and pedestrians what to do. So, yung mga traffic lights and signals, ito yung sinusundan na ng mga drivers and pati na rin ng mga pedestrian para makontrol yung traffic sa kalsada. So, ito yung nag-i-indicate kung pwede na ba tayong mag-proceed sa pagde-drive or kailangan nating huminto para mag-give way sa ibang mga sasakyan. So, tulad nga ng sabi natin, meron tayong 3 colored lights or signals sa traffic light. Ito ay red, yellow, and green signal. So, ano nga bang ibig sabihin kapag nakakakita tayo ng red signal? Kapag nakakita tayo ng red signal light, ibig sabihin, kailangan nating mag-stop or ihinto yung ating vehicle sa marked line para mag-give way sa ibang mga sasakyan o sa mga pedestrian na tatawid. And kapag naman flashing red signal light ang nakita natin, ibig sabihin kailangan nating mag-stop or i-stop yung ating vehicle and makaproceed lamang tayo kapag safe na, yung sure na tayo na walang ibang sasakyan na dadaan o pedestrian na tatawid. Kapag naman yellow signal light, nag-i-indicate na malapit na ang mag-red signal light. So, kailangan nating mag-slow down or unti-unting ihinto yung ating sasakyan para parang ito yung nag-i-indicate na i-ready natin yung sasakyan natin sa pag-stop dahil nga mag-red signal light na. Kapag naman flashing yellow signal light yung nakikita natin, ibig sabihin kailangan nating mag-slow down or bagalan yung pagtakbo ng ating sasakyan and makaka-proceed lamang tayo with caution. So, dapat aware tayo or cautious tayo sa pag-proceed ng ating sasakyan para maiwasan yung aksidente. And last ay yung green signal light. Kapag green signal light yung nakikita natin, ibig sabihin pwede na tayong mag-proceed sa pagpapa-under ng ating vehicle. Pero kailangan nating mag-yield or mag-give way sa mga pedestrian, lalo na kapag gumagamit tayo ng intersection. And kapag flashing green signal light naman yung nakikita natin, ibig sabihin nun, pwede na tayong mag-proceed. Pero syempre, kailangan with caution pa rin kasi maaaring may mga pedestrian na tatawid sa street. So, ayun, proceed with caution. Next ay braking. Braking is the action of making a moving vehicle slow down or stop by using a brake. So, yung braking daw, ito yung action na ginagawa natin para mapahinto yung sasakyan na ating minamaneho. So, kung sa Tagalog, ito yung ating pagpepreno. Proper braking. So, under ng proper braking is avoid tailgating. So, bakit kailangan nating iwasan yung tailgating? Para mabawasan yung chances ng aksidente tulad ng banggaan. Kasi, kung makikita natin dito sa picture sa ilalim, yung tailgating, ito yung sobrang lapit na distansya ng ating vehicle doon sa sinusundan nating vehicle. So, kailangan natin yung iwasan para maiwasan din natin yung mga disgrasya. Next is maintain a safe distance. So, kailangan natin mag-provide ng safe distance para mas magkaroon tayo ng enough na stopping distance kung sakali man na mag-brake yung sasakyan na nasa harapan natin. Kaya kailangan natin mag-maintain ng safe distance. And third ay give motorcycles the same distance you would give to any other vehicle. So, kasi kaya kailangan nating bigyan ng same distance, or kung tutuusin, pwedeng mas mahabang distance yung mga motorcycles, dahil katulad lang din yan ng ibang vehicles na may mga engines, and syempre ibabase din natin yan sa reaction time ng driver. So iba-iba naman ang reaction time ng mga driver, kaya kailangan same distance lang yung ibibigay natin sa kanila, katulad ng ibibigay natin na distance sa ibang mga sasakyan. So, proceed na tayo sa braking distance. Ano nga ba yung braking distance? It is the distance a vehicle travels from the moment the brake are applied to the moment it comes to a complete stop. So, yung braking distance daw, ito yung distance na tina-travel ng ating sasakyan the moment na tapakan natin yung preno hanggang sa mag-stop na ito. Perception and reaction distance. Allow extra braking distance. It takes a split second for your reflexes to respond and the brain to react from the time you see a potential hazard. So, yung perception and reaction distance, ito yung distance na tina-travel ng ating vehicle the moment we see the potential hazard hanggang sa mag-take action na tayo. So, when we say take action, ito yung action natin nung pagpepreno na. And next ay total stopping distance. Take into consideration your perception distance, reaction distance, and braking distance based on your speed to come into a total stopping distance. So, yung total stopping distance, ito yung combination na nung perception distance, reaction distance, and yung braking distance natin. So, ito na yung distance na tina-travel nung ating sasakyan the moment we see the potential hazard hanggang sa mag-stop na yung ating vehicle. So, dahil hindi naman natin makukompute yung total stopping distance natin, especially kung nasa kalsada na talaga tayo, kaya meron tayong sinusunod na informal rule. So, ito yung tinatawag natin na following distance o yung 2 or 3 second rule. Ito, hindi siya totally guide para sa safe distance, pero ginagamit siyang guide para lang magkaroon tayo ng enough time, or ito yung pinaka-guide natin para sa ating reaction time. Bukod doon, natutulungan tayo nito para maiwasan yung pagti-tailgating and magkaroon tayo ng more time or more distance para mag-response once bigla ang brake yung sinusundan nating driver. So, sa rule na to, pwede tayong mag-exceed sa 3-second rule. Pwede siyang maging 4 or 5-second rule. Katulad nung nandito sa ating image ilalim. So, yung pagbabago or pagdadagdag ng seconds sa rule na to is nakadepende sa kung gaano kabilis yung takbo ng ating vehicle, sa kung ano yung condition ng ating kalsada, and sa kung ano yung condition ng weather. Next is speed restrictions. Speed restriction refers to the maximum or minimum speed limit set for vehicles on a particular road or area. These limits are enforced to ensure safety, reduce accidents, and manage traffic flow effectively. So, yung speed restrictions, makakakita tayo ng mga signage niyan sa kalsada indicating kung ano ba yung limit na bilis na maaari nating ipatakbo yung sasakyan natin once dumaan tayo sa area na may speed limit na ganon. Halimbawa, dito sa left picture dito sa ilalim, yung example ko dito, ang speed limit niya is 60 miles per hour. So, yung ganyang limit is most likely makikita natin sa mga highways or dun sa mga lugar na masasabi nating maluwag. And yung mga 20 mph, 10 mph, makikita naman natin yan sa mga lugar na madaming tao or sa mga lugar na maliit lang yung spaces. Katulad ng mga school zones. Ayun. So, meron tayong prescribed rate of speed as per section 35B of RA number 4135. So, meron tayong iba't ibang descriptions, and sa passenger cars or sa type ng vehicles na meron tayo, iba-iba din yung speed limit or rate of speed nila. So, kung ang description ng road na dadaanan natin is an open country roads with no blind corners, not closely bordered by habitation, ang rate of speed sa mga passenger cars and motorcycles ay 80 kilometers per hour. Kapag naman motor trucks and buses ay 50 kilometers per hour. Kapag naman ang description ng road is a through streets or boulevards, clear traffic with no blind corners when so designated. Kapag ang passenger cars and motorcycles, ang rate of speed nila ay 40 kilometers per hour. Kapag naman motor trucks and buses, ang rate of speed nila is 30 kilometers per hour. Kapag naman ang description ng road ay city and municipal streets with light traffic when not designated through street, ang rate of speed para sa passenger cars and motorcycles ay 30 kilometers per hour at 30 kilometers per hour din sa mga motor trucks and buses. And lastly, kung ang description ng road is through crowded streets, approaching intersections at blind corners, passing school zones, passing other vehicles which are stationary, or for similar dangerous circumstances, ang prescribed rate of speed sa passenger cars, motorcycles, motor trucks and buses ay 20 kilometers per hour. Iba naman yung prescribed rate of speed sa mga national road as per Joint Memorandum Circular 2018-001 dated 17th January 2018 of DOTR, DPWH, and DILG. So, yung sa national roads, meron tayong 2 category niyan, which is primary and secondary. And under netong two categories nito ay meron ding subcategories, which are flat topography, rolling topography, and mountainous topography. So, kung ang road na dadaanan natin sa primary to kung ang road na dadaanan natin is flat topography, ang prescribed rate of speed is 80 kilometers per hour. Kapag naman rolling topography, 60 kilometers per hour. Kapag mountainous topography, 50 kilometers per hour ang prescribed rate of speed. Kapag naman secondary, yung category ng road natin, kapag flat topography, 70 kilometers per hour ang prescribed rate of speed. Kapag rolling topography, 60 kilometers per hour. And kapag mountainous topography, 40 kilometers per hour ang prescribed rate of speed. And meron din tayong mga provincial roads prescribed rate of speed. So, ayan, meron tayong dalawang jurisdiction dito, which is provincial and municipal or city and barangay. Meron din tayo ditong mga road classifications. So, meron tayong open road, through streets, and crowded streets under ng provincial. And meron tayong municipal or city streets, barangay roads, crowded streets under municipal or city and barangay. So, ang prescribed rate for passenger cars, motorcycles, and similar vehicles kapag open road is 40 kilometers per hour. Kapag naman motor trucks, buses, and similar vehicles ay 30 kilometers per hour. Kapag ang road classification naman ay through streets, ang prescribed rate of speed sa mga passenger cars, motorcycles, and similar vehicles ay 40 kilometers per hour. And kapag motor trucks and buses naman ay 30 kilometers per hour. Kapag naman ang road classification ay crowded streets, parehong 20 kilometers per hour sa mga passenger cars, motorcycles, motor trucks, and buses. So, kapag ang road classification naman ay municipal or city streets, ang prescribed rate of speed sa passenger cars, motorcycles, and motor trucks and buses ay parehong 30 kilometers per hour. Kapag barangay road naman, same lang din ang prescribed rate of speed sa passenger cars, motorcycles, motor trucks, and buses na 20 kilometers per hour. Same sa mga crowded streets na 20 kilometers per hour din ang prescribed rate of speed. So, and meron din tayong exception to speed restriction. So, number 1, a physician or his driver when the former respond to emergency calls. 2, the driver of a hospital ambulance on the way and from the place of accident or other emergency. Number 3, any driver bringing wounded or sick person for emergency treatment to a hospital, clinic, or any similar places. Number 4, the driver of a motor vehicle belonging to armed forces while in use for official purposes in times of riot, insurrection, or invasion. Number 5, the driver of vehicle when his or her passenger are in pursuit of a criminal. Number 6, a law enforcement officer who is trying to overtake a violator of traffic laws. And lastly, the driver who officially operates a motor vehicle of any fire department, provided that exemption shall not be construed to allow useless or unnecessary fast driving of drivers aforementioned. So, kung mapapansin natin, yung mga exception is applicable lang when there's emergency. Katulad nun sa una, physician or his doctor when the former respond to emergency calls. So, pwede lang natin hindi sundin yung speed restrictions na to kapag may emergency na halimbawa may kailangan tayong agapan na mga may sakit na tao or mga may risk sa kalusugan na kailangan ng agapang gamot, ganon. Applicable din siya kapag yung mga armed forces, mga police, yung mga law enforcement officer na kailangang maghabol or humuli ng mga violators. And kung kailangan nilang rumisponde sa mga gulo or sa mga riot. And etong last, yung sa fire department, yung mga bombero na kailangang yung immediate na pag-respond nila para hindi na kumalat yung sunog or hindi na lumala yung mga incident na nangyayari. Kaya pwede nilang i-violate or hindi sundin yung mga speed restrictions na to. Next is right-of-way rules. So, yung right-of-way rules, ito yung sinusunod natin na rule para malaman kung sino na ba yung may privilege para gamitin yung road. When we say gamitin yung road is yung mag-cross ng road kung halimbawa nasa intersection na tayo. So, una is yielding to the right. If two vehicles approach or enter an intersection at about the same time, the driver of the vehicle on the left must yield to the driver of the vehicle on the right. So, yung vehicle daw na nasa right, sila yung may right of way para mag-cross or mag-enter doon sa intersection. And yung vehicle na nasa left, sila yung dapat mag-give way doon sa sasakyan na nasa right. Next is forfeiting right of way due to speeding. A driver who is speeding loses any right of way privileges they would normally have. So, yung mga sasakyan daw na nag-speeding, automatically mawawalan na sila ng right of way. Sila dapat yung mag-give way sa mga sasakyan na dumadaan. Next is approaching versus inside the intersection. A driver who is approaching an intersection but has not yet entered must yield to a vehicle that is already inside the intersection or turning left within it. So, yung mga sasakyan daw na nasa loob na ng intersection, sila yung may right of way kasi nasa loob na sila ng intersection. So, meaning, yung mga intersection na approaching pa lang ng intersection, sila yung mag-give way dun sa mga sasakyan na nasa loob na ng intersection. And, next ay left turning vehicles responsibility. So, yung mga magle-left turn ng mga vehicles na nasa loob na ng intersection, kailangan nilang magpakita ng visible signal. Yung visible signal, ito yung mga turn signal. Yung mga sasakyan naman and motorcycles, meron niyang turn signal. Ito yung mag-i-indicate na kakaliwa tayo para malaman din ng mga sasakyan na susunod sa atin or yung mga sasakyan na patawid din na mag-turn left tayo para maiwasan yung manggaan. Pedestrians have the right of way at crosswalks. If a pedestrian is crossing a highway within a crosswalk, drivers must yield and let them cross. So, if ang mga pedestrian daw is tumatawid sa crosswalk or sa mga pedestrian lane, dapat mag-give way yung mga vehicles. Meaning, dapat patapusin muna nilang tumawid yung mga pedestrian bago sila mag-proceed. Kapag naman ang mga pedestrian is tumatawid sila outside crosswalks or outside pedestrian lanes, dapat sila yung mag-give way sa mga vehicles. Meaning, makakatawid lamang sila kapag wala nang mga dumadaang mga sasakyan. Next, stopping at through highway or railroad crossing. A driver must come to a full stop before crossing a through highway or a railroad crossing. So, kung magdadaan or tatawid daw tayo sa mga railroad crossing, dapat mag-stop muna tayo para ma-make sure natin na wala nang dadaan na tren, and kung through highway naman, para ma-make sure natin na wala nang yung biglang susulpot na mga sasakyan para maiwasan yung aksidente. Lastly, yielding when entering a highway from a private road or driveway. A driver coming from a private road or driveway onto a highway must yield to all vehicles already on the highway. So, ang may right of way dito is yung mga sasakyan na nasa loob na ng highway. Meaning, yung mga e-enter pa lang ng highway or e-enter ng highway mula sa private road, kailangan nilang mag-yield sa mga sasakyan na nasa loob na ng highway. Meaning, kailangan muna nilang mag-wait na makakross yung mga sasakyan na nasa loob na ng highway bago sila umenter doon sa highway. So, meron din tayong exceptions to the right-of-way rules. First, drivers must yield to emergency vehicles. If a driver is on a highway and an emergency vehicle is approaching while on official duty, the driver must yield the right-of-way. So, sa scenario na to, ang emergency vehicle ang may right-of-way. So, mag-give way yung mga ibang sasakyan para mas mabilis makapag-response yung emergency vehicle na yon. Next, emergency vehicles must use audible signals. So, audible signal na yon, yun yung magbibigay ng signal sa ibang sasakyan na mag-give way sila dahil may approaching na emergency vehicle. Next, drivers entering a through highway or stop intersection must yield. If a driver is entering a through highway, they must yield the right of way to vehicles already on the highway. So, yung mga vehicles na mag-enter pa lang ng through highway, dapat nilang ibigay yung right of way sa mga sasakyan na nasa loob na ng highway. Meaning, makakapag-enter lang sila ng highway kapag wala ng or safe nang mag-enter dahil konti na lang or wala ng mga sasakyan na dumadaan. And lastly, responsibility of drivers on through highway. Even though drivers on the through highway have the right of way, they must still drive safely and be aware of vehicles entering the highway. So, kahit nasa drivers na nasa loob ng highway yung right of way, kailangan pa din nilang maging aware and cautious dahil nga may mga entering na may mga papasok na vehicle sa highway. So, kaya kailangan natin maging aware is para maiwasan yung banggaan. Ayan, classification of roads. So, meron tayong iba't ibang classification of roads. Una is national road. Road that connects one province to another province. So, ito yung road na nagko-connect ng dalawang province. Example nito is Maharlika Highway. Next, provincial road. Road that connects the municipalities within a province. Example ng provincial road ay Talisay-Tanawan Road. So, itong road na is makikita natin sa Batangas. So, ito, kinoconnect niya yung municipality ng Talisay at Tanawan. Next ay ang municipal city road. Road network within a city or municipality. So, yung municipal city road is yung road na makikita natin within a city or municipality. Example nito is yung Katipunan Avenue. Next is barangay road. Road that connects barangays from the city or town, or road within the geographical location of a barangay. So, ito yung road na makikita natin within barangay na nagko-connect-connecta ng iba't ibang geographical location na nasa loob ng ating barangay. And last is farm to market road. Access road from farm to transport of products to the market outlet. So, ito yung road na nagko-connecta sa farm at market. Next is making the right turn. So, ito yung mga dapat natin gawin when we're making a right turn. So, una, proceed to the right lane well in advance. So, before pa tayo mag right turn, dapat na make sure na natin na nasa tamang lane. Second, reduce to a speed and signal your intention to turn. So, ayun, before tayo mag right turn, dapat nasa safe na speed. Yung hindi tayo sobrang bilis para kung meron mga ibang approaching na sasakyan, hindi natin sila makabanggaan kasi makikita na natin sila beforehand kasi nga nag-reduce tayo into safe speed, and kailangan din natin mag-signal para malaman ng mga sasakyan na susunod sa atin na magte-turn right tayo. Next, check the traffic approaching from left and pedestrian or any other obstruction. So, before tayo mag-right turn, kailangan itignan muna natin kung meron bang mga pedestrian na tatawid or kung meron bang sasakyan sa left side para maiwasan yung pagkakabangga. And last is at the turn position, keep your rear right wheel nearest to the curb or edge of the highway. Next, making the left turn. So, ayan, meron tayo ditong diagram dito or image. So, number 1, vehicle V, drive your vehicle to the lane. Advance to the intersection where you intend to make turn. So, yung sasakyan dapat i-drive niya doon sa lane kung saan niya intended or gustong mag-make ng turn. So, kung magle-left turn ka, dapat dun ka sa left lane. So, i-drive mo yung vehicle mo pa left lane. Second, vehicle A and B, reduce to a safe speed and signal your intention to turn. So, di ba meron tayo ditong dalawang vehicle. So, dahil parehong
mag-make ng turn si vehicle A and vehicle B, dapat nilang i-reduce yung kanilang speed into safe speed, and kailangan nilang mag-signal para ipaalam sa bawat isa kung saan ba yung direction nila or saan ba nila intended mag-make ng turn. And number 3, vehicle B, if stopped, keep your wheels pointed straight ahead and wait to cross the intersection. So, ayan, making a U-turn. U-turns are risky and prohibited in some areas. So, may mga parte or may mga area na hindi tayo pwedeng mag-U-turn. So, kung mag-U-turn man tayo, una nating dapat gawin is alamin natin kung pwede bang mag-U-turn yun. And madali naman yun ma-identify since may mga signage naman yun. So, next na gagawin is start turning from the right side of the innermost lane. Second, check for traffic in both directions and make the proper turn signal. So, before tayo mag-make ng turn natin, dapat i-check muna natin kung may mga dumadaan bang sasakyan. And kailangan na-turn na natin yung ating turn signal para malaman ng mga sasakyan na sumusunod sa atin na gagawin natin yung na mag-U-turn tayo. Third, when the way is clear, carefully turn the steering wheel sharply to the left while moving forward. And lastly, do not change lanes until you reach the correct traffic speed. Next, using lanes, changing lanes. So, ito yung mga dapat natin gawin when we are using lanes or we're changing lanes. First, check traffic ahead, behind, and on the sides. So, dapat check natin yung mga dumadaang sasakyan sa sa harap, likod, and sa magkabilang gilid. Second, check the rear view mirror and side mirror for approaching vehicles. So, ang purpose kaya nga meron tayong rear view mirror and side mirrors para malaman natin kung meron bang mga sasakyan na approaching or may mga sasakyan ba sa likod natin. So, mahalaga yon kung mag-change tayo ng lane para malaman natin kung safe ba mag-change ng lane. Third, take a quick glance on the blind spot. So, dapat hindi natin kakalimutan i-check yung blind spots kasi minsan doon biglang sumusulpot yung mga sasakyan na maaaring ikakos ng mga banggaan. Next, switch on signal light. So, kung yun nga, mag-change tayo ng lane, dapat mag-signal tayo ng intention natin na mag-change lane kung pupunta ba tayo ng left or right. Para alam ng mga sasakyan na yung mga sumusunod na sasakyan natin na mag-change tayo ng lane. Fifth, steer into the new lane while looking forward. And sixth, or last, switch off your signal light. So, kung nakalipat na tayo ng lane, pwede na nating i-turn off yung ating signal light.